Hi, and welcome to the Arsenal Fans Focus TV. This podcast is all about you, your passion, your opinions, and for the love of the game. So let's dive in. How you doing, Adam?
Very well, thanks, Pat. You?
Doing good, mate. Doing good. How you doing, Charlie?
Very good, mate. Yourself?
Good. And how you doing, Lloyd?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Like I said, I've had a bit of a mad day, but yeah, all good, man.
Okay, cool. Guys, listen, once again, we're just gonna, I'm not gonna say, yeah, you go. What we do, we'll do that first, and then let's just all just tell me how you're feeling and how, and I don't know. I mean, was it a miracle, Adam?
I wouldn't go as far as a miracle, but it was some performance. I think, I was always confident. I think, as I said last week, I was always confident getting through, but winning the game out there, it's weird because even going into injury time at 1-1, I just thought, I'll sit there thinking this is brilliant. But even winning the game out there just felt big. We'd already sailed through, but yeah, just getting the winner out there as well. It was almost like we've done them over two legs comfortably, and it was just an amazing night. And I think it will give the team a lot of belief to go and win this competition now.
Charlie?
Yeah, very good performance. I don't even know why people were shocked. Not Arsenal fans, but fans across different teams. Because I think I explained it to you on Saturday, Pat. The only game we lost, big game this season, was against Inter. And you can argue that we didn't deserve to lose. Tale of two penalties, one that was given, one that weren't in that Inter game. Other than that, across the two legs, we were brilliant. Bring on PSG.
And it's good to see you on that Saturday, right? You know what I mean? It was a shock to see you. What, Charlie?
I was just walking around and I noticed you first, and it's like
it was really good to see you, Lloyd. I mean, again, we was together yesterday at the Box Park, Wembley. Tell them about how you felt about that. Was you shocked about the game first? Was you shocked? Or you expected it?
No, I wasn't shocked, like you said, Pat, and we were there. We were watching it there last night at Wembley Box Park, you know what I mean? But I had my doubts again. I ain't gonna lie, I had my doubts again. I thought, yeah, do you know what I mean? We come out and we start playing rubbish, and they score a quick early goal, then you would be thinking, do you know what I mean? But as I said to you on the way up there, Pat, you know what I mean? All we had to do was just keep it simple, get the job done. That's what we did, innit? Sweet mate, innit? Bring on PSG. But you know what? The only PSG I remember, was the MC PSG. Does anybody know who MC PSG is? He was part of that group. Do you really like it? He's the only PSG I know.
No.
Look him up. MC PSG. Google it. MC PSG.
Okay. Oh, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. Look, I don't know if you guys been listening. I mean, Lloyd, you hit it on the head. You said you apart from certain Arsenal supporters who weren't surprised. I'll tell you something right now. Honestly, there was a lot of Arsenal supporters out there. I mean, I get it. It was nerves. Because they felt the name Real Madrid. It does put the fear of God in you. Of course it does, and I get that. But if we all, you see, I wasn't surprised because I've always said this. Arsenal play a lot better in the Champions League than they sometimes do in the Premier League because it sometimes suits them the way they're set up, and that's what I wasn't surprised. I really wasn't surprised because when you look at how Arsenal play in the Champions League, it so suits them because the Champions League is it's a lot more slower. So when you play certain teams, anyway, it's how they do their build-ups and everything else. The Premier League's a lot faster. It's a lot physical. It's got a lot more. It's more physical and everything else. So when I wasn't surprised when Arsenal beat Real Madrid at home 3-0. I wasn't surprised. The only thing I was really surprised about was it the 3-0. A bit because we never had a striker, so I was worried about where's our goals going to come from. But was I surprised the manner how they went about playing the game? No, I wasn't. So that is why. And going to the Bernabeu, I know a lot of people talk about, it's the Bernabeu. That's a different kettle of fish. No one beats Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. They're the comeback kings. They're this. But always had the faith because I knew Arsenal's got one of the best defense in Europe. I knew, and I was so confident of that, especially watching the game at the Emirates, how the defense literally controlled Mbappe and
It's just
Junior, and who was what was the other one? At the
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo. I wasn't surprised. So right. So, I mean, Adam, expand on how you felt and how you saw the game. Who was your man of the who was your man? Was it all the team? What?
I think the same as you. I mean, as you said, defensively, I wasn't too fearful of it. You know, the last time we conceded 3 goals in any game was Luton, and that was, you know, December 2023. That was a weird game. It was a bit of a basketball match, but I think we don't ever look like conceding 3 goals in a game, and especially when we've got something to defend. You know, if we've gone out there and we needed to go and attack and we were 2-0 down, then you're more likely to concede 3 goals. But when we can set up 2 banks of 4, I just don't see anyone breaking us down. I predicted 0-0 before the game, and I think after 60 minutes, I was fairly confident about that because we're so organised. I think Partey and Rice, you know, shepherded the defence brilliantly. The defence was absolutely outstanding. I think man of the match again. I mean, Rice got it for both legs, and there was 4 or 5 candidates, but again, he's had a little bit of stick this season about, you know, 100 million, what are you bringing to the game? But he just, when he dominates games like that against the European champions, you can't argue with the price tag. And for me, he just edged man of the match. I thought there were some brilliant performances out there. Again, I know the commentary team's there, but I mean, Lewis Skelly at 18. I mean, he looked like he'd played 200 games for Arsenal, not 20 odd games. And it was just, there was some, and I think we said last week, Kivior under huge pressure was outstanding. Marino's had a lot of stick, brilliant. There was so many good performances, and I felt that we'd won it after 30, 40 minutes because they was getting so frustrated. You could tell early on that Bellingham was starting to get a little bit petulant. There was a few little kick-outs, and Rudiger, the longer the game got on. And I loved watching it. It was great because they don't often get humbled in their own backyard.
Yeah, no. Charlie, let's all just jump in now, guys, and see. Just let me know how you feel.
You know what? He said. Rio said it on commentary. All they kept. I'm gonna discuss the defense first because I remember that Luton game, and it was Raya's last bad game. And since then, everything from him has been superb. E.g., crossing from boxes, even like punching. Like he don't punch the ball out into like a bad area. Like yesterday, he punched the ball out and he went out to the halfway line for a throw-in. So that's how good his distribution's got and how well he's improved. The defense. The only chances Madrid got were half chances, which are quite good, especially in the first leg. I remember Saka gave the ball away once. I think Partey gave away the ball once. Obviously, their goal came from an error, uncapitalised from Slade. But other than that, solid defensively. Attacking-wise, brilliant. The only time I've ever seen an English team dominate Real Madrid like that was 2 years ago when Man City beat them 4-1, or 4-0, sorry. And they fully dismantled them that night. I remember watching it thinking, wow. But have we done it equally as more impressive?
Okay.
Yeah, man. It's unbelievable.
Go on.
And you know how I'm feeling at the moment? I'm feeling like Tony the Tiger. Great, isn't it? Remember a minute, Tony the Tiger went out the advert. Great, isn't it?
Yeah. But what I want to know is, guys, how in individual players. I mean, you saw their their tactic when they first came out. Obviously, we saw when they just came out the blocks. We saw that. Not only did we see they coming out the blocks, but we saw what their predictions was on some of the players. Have you guys saw some of the tackles that was going through on Saka? And there was a player stamped on someone's stomach.
Yeah, Rudiger.
That was Rudiger.
Lewis Skelly, and he knew what he was doing. So Rudiger was like that at Chelsea, and I think people are aware of what he's like. But as you said, I mean, Alaba absolutely cleaned Saka out after about 15 minutes, and
cleaned him out.
And it was one of those tackles where, as frustrated I was that you could have injured Saka, I thought they are rattled early here because they didn't really lay a glove on us for the first 20 minutes. And once I start seeing tackles like that going in and the stamps going in, I know they're beaten mentally. Even at half time, it was Danny Carvajal was having to go at Saka in the tunnel, and I just thought you know, I said this last week, I think if you keep them quiet for 30 minutes in the Bernabeu, the fans start turning, like it gets a little bit petulant. I've seen Barcelona do it to them. You know, they beat them at the Bernabeu, and it gets very kind of tetchy, and that was the beauty of it. They didn't. I mean, they had the penalty shout, which was obviously overturned, but they didn't really like get anywhere near scoring for the first half, and you could see the frustration kicked in early. And then the longer the game went on, the more I thought we could win it. And I thought although they had more of the ball, we looked more dangerous on the break. And I thought, you know, Martinelli and Saka especially looked really dangerous when we broke away.
You know what? I just want to talk about the ref because it's a tale of, again, I mentioned it for the Inter one. Like yesterday was a tale of 2 penalties. You can debate our one. I think it's a clear pen. Although he's not near the ball, like you don't do that. And I remember he done that against Liverpool. Same player. Got punished as well. I think on Nunez that time. And then obviously Rice's one. It shouldn't take 5 minutes. But other than that, I think the ref done superbly. He done well with Alaba getting the booking. Asensio obviously got booked. The only one that got away from him was actually Rudiger because it's disgusting that.
No, you're right. I mean, again, I'd like to just a little bit talk about the ref. For you, again, I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but I felt the referee weren't there. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I just felt that he wanted the game to play. It's not about me. It's about the game. Do you see what I mean? It's a big spectacle. It's a big game. I don't need to be the center of attention. And I felt he did make 95% of the calls he did do, and he did correct. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think he settled down. I think, as Charlie said, our one was a penalty. We don't often see it, and I don't know if anyone else. I didn't really notice it at the time, and then for it to go on the 90 seconds and then be looked at, I was quite surprised.
I didn't notice it.
No, the first thing I said afterwards.
It on the commentary that they check it, and then it was literally just like all of a sudden it went out for a throw in. You see that movement, you're thinking,
But the first thing I said afterwards, my worry was being in the Bernabeu that he was going to try and even it up, and I turned to my girlfriend at the time and I said, you know, I'm worried that any kind of hands on the box from us is going to be a penalty. And it literally happened about 2 minutes after I said it. McCoy said it in the commentary. And it was almost like he got a bit overawed by the occasion and was like kind of giving big decisions. And then once he leveled up with the penalties, he was very good. And as you said, Pat, you didn't really notice him. The game flowed nicely. And it was almost like he kind of got his big decisions out of the way. And then it really settled into the game and it was fine after that.
And that's what I mean. That's why I don't understand when a lot of people say that England has got the best referees. I don't understand that. I really don't. And even though the VAR took over 5 minutes to see was that a penalty or not,
that shouldn't have took that long. I'll be honest.
Maybe it shouldn't have. But imagine if that was all right. Does everyone agree if that was in England? Do you think that would be given against us?
Yeah, I think it has stayed. I think it has stayed. I agree. Yeah.
It would have stayed. So to be honest with you, I'm glad it took that long. I'm glad. I really am, because that could have been pivotal for Arsenal if that penalty was given. Because I mean, you don't know how Arsenal would have reacted.
Do you know what I think it is as well? What I don't like is this clear and obvious. You know, in the Premier League, it's this clear and obvious. It has to be clear and obvious to overturn it. And in Europe, it seems to be that if we're wrong, we'll overturn it. It doesn't have to be clear and obvious. It's like, is it the right decision or the wrong decision? It really annoys me when commentators in England go, "Oh, if he'd have given that, he wouldn't have overturned it." But you know, like it's all, well, if it's the right decision, then do the right thing. It doesn't matter if it's clear and obvious or not. Make it the right decision.
No, I agree totally. Is it the same technology that what they're using is in the Premier League, or is it a totally different system? Do you know
it's the same technology now for everything?
Yeah, they were ahead of us with the offsides. I mean, Europe, they were using the semi-automated offside the last 2 weeks in the Prem, but no, otherwise I think it's the same kind of studio. I mean, the offsides as well, even in the Prem, it's cleed up so much quicker. You know, like rather than getting the ground around, drawing the lines, you can straight away go, he's half a yard off. I don't know why we just turned it down as a league before now. God knows, it's so much better. Did
you like the way? I want to talk about the Saka's penalty. I like the way that Martin Odegaard had took the ball, and it's like he was standing. He was the one who's going to be taking the penalty to take the pressure off of Saka. You know what I mean? Because getting psychologically psyched out by the goalkeeper. Do you with me? Did anyone see that?
They've done it a
He's
few
that
times.
I'm not
Yeah.
seeing that. I've not seen that. I've not seen
Yeah,
it.
they've done it a few times, and I said I know I think Fletcher in commentary was saying, Odegaard's going to take it. And I said, look, Saka's going to take this, but it is a very clever way because, as you say, it just gets him out the firing line. The Real Madrid players come up to Odegaard and try and get in his head, and then Saka just comes up and takes the ball. And it didn't look like they were aware of it. Like I was aware of it, but they didn't look they were. So they weren't really giving Saka anything. It didn't pay off in the end, but it was a good idea.
Talk about that, guys. I mean, what was Saka thinking?
You know what?
I don't know what he was thinking there. Do you know what? If you're going to take one of those sort of penalties, you go straight down the middle. What on earth was that to go down to the left? I do not know.
Because you know what? It annoyed me. Don't get me wrong. But you know what? I've always said this. I don't like Saka on pens. I'm never confident.
You're never confident on Saka, and this is just what? This is his first one he's missed.
No, second.
Oh, yes, second. Okay, fine, second. And how? Yeah. Was he really? What penalty in Arsenal? What this season?
Not this season. No, he's missed a few in his Arsenal career, but
he only missed one. And it was against West Ham. West Ham, 2 years ago yesterday.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Well,
we were 2-1 up at that point.
Yeah, that was a big game in the league. I'm not confident, but what I just didn't understand. What I said was, if you miss it taking it at full pelt, then you can understand that. But if you miss a Panenka, like as Lloyd said, if you're going to do it, go down the middle. Like don't go one side, because if the keeper's guessing, then the whole point of a Panenka is the keeper's going to guess and go out of the way. If you're going down one side, you make yourself like a mug. What really surprised me about it was so un-Saka-like. It was like, for me, Saka, everything he does is so clean cut and so kind of very, like it's very decisive, and it wasn't. I was really surprised when he did it personally.
But I mean, listen, he made up for it.
He did.
He made up for it, and
you know what? Other than that, I think he was actually. I remember he had a chance, and I actually said this on Saturday. I don't know if I said it to you, Pat, but I said the first 20 minutes are key. You've got to either sustain all that pressure, which I know they didn't put us a lot under, but we'll get to that, because all they were doing was hoofball, and it was just repetitive. Or you got to get an early goal and silence the crowd. And that was, I think, the 10th minute. So if we got that goal in the 10th minute, make it 4-0. I didn't see Madrid coming back from 4-0. I could have seen them coming back from 3 if they got one in the first 20 minutes. Personally.
Did anyone see that nutmeg?
That's dirty.
I mean, that was absolutely brilliant. You see, I mean, again, it was the scare. I don't know if anyone read or heard it about the scaremonger that was going on in Spain, and how they were getting their media to hype it up and get their how they were doing on TV or on the different social media. What was it called? Come on, guys, I need to know the name of
Remontada, is it?
What's it called?
Yeah, the Montada. When it comes down,
Spanish word.
Yeah, Remontada. My Spanish isn't the best here.
Right, yeah. Whatever it was, it didn't work.
Yeah, they wanted the roof. They wanted the roof closed. What was all that about?
Listen, mate, you should have seen Twitter. Like, literally, I've never, I know we moan, but every time we've dropped points, apart from Bournemouth, every time we've dropped points, I've lost games. We ain't lost them fairly. Apart from Bournemouth and Man City away, they're the only two games where I can say.
Newcastle as well, I'd say.
Okay, Newcastle as well. Yeah. They're the only 3 games that I can say, okay, we deserve to drop points. Well done. But what I saw on Twitter throughout the whole week was, oh my God.
Do you know what really, where I was so proud of the team last night? Yeah, when we played Munich last year, and I went to both games in Munich, and there was a nervousness about Arsenal, and it felt like it was the first time we'd been back in the Champions League. We were playing a really big team, and I think Munich were there for the taking last year, and we drew 2 at home. We should have beaten them at home, and we went over there and we didn't really lay a glove on them. We lost 1-0, and it felt like a bit like, let's don't lose the game rather than win it. And I felt that the experience of that last year showed yesterday. Like, I think if we'd played Madrid this time last year, they'd have beaten us, but I think it was like there was a belief about the team yesterday. Like, even going over there, there was a lot of news around, like you said, Pat, kind of, yeah, it's Madrid, it's the Bernabeu, will we be scared? And I just didn't see it from the players at all. I don't know if you saw the clip earlier. There was a clip of Odegaard in the tunnel with the players, and he was saying, talking about, go block out the whistles, go out there. And Rice said afterwards, nothing to fear, lads. And it was almost like I felt the players believed from the off, and I felt that last week as well. And I think that was the difference between this time last year. I think we can believe we can win it this year, whereas this time last year it was like, oh, we're back in the Champions League. Let's see how far we can get. And I think there's a belief now that we can go on and win it.
Where did that belief come from? If we never had it last year, where's it come from now?
I think it's the experience of what happened last year. I think they looked at it, Bayern Munich, and then I think afterwards there was a real kind of sense of, we've missed an opportunity here. Like we were, if you said, like we said, like we've not conceded a lot of goals in the last 2 years against big six teams. We were unbeaten in 18, 19 games against big six, and I think we realised that. The Munichs and Madrids aren't that much better than the top six in the Prem at the moment. It's, there's not a dominant force in Europe at the moment. I think they've realised that and thought we can beat anyone now, and it's been instilled in with that experience from last year. Personally,
the last time we actually capitulated, like fully capitulated, was 2 years ago, and I remember watching that City game thinking. But then I also think, to back up your point, Pat, and Martin Keown tried to make a good point before Rio interrupted him. What changed? The belief. Because when we played Munich this time last year, we didn't seem to have an answer. This year, we knew what we had to do. We went out there and done it.
Do you think it's because a little bit of a part of Thierry Henry coming into the camp and installing that belief?
Possibly, but I just say I think. They always said about experience. You've been there before. I say for these players this year, they probably had the memory of Munich last year, and when it said, I think as I say, at the end of that game in Munich last year, they probably thought, why didn't we ever go? We lost 1-0 out there. We lost 3-2 on aggregate, and we didn't really. We should have lost that game 2-0. We had a go at them. We didn't really ever go until the last few minutes. So I think this year they went, look. We've got Real Madrid at home. They're not playing the greatest ever. Let's go and try and win it. And if we lose it, so be it. But at least let's have a go. And I think Arteta's instilled this mentality in the group that we can win it now. And I think the pundits, Arsenal fans have believed for a little bit longer, but the pundits are now slowly kind of realising that, no one really wants to play us. When the draw first came out, it was like, Madrid will walk through us. And Arsenal fans were the only ones that really believed, I think, bar the odd kind of, pundit here and there. And I think people are now starting to believe we can beat PSG. Well, again, a week ago, we couldn't beat PSG. And now they've seen what Villa could do to them. And I think that people are starting to think we can definitely win this.
And what I hate is when I know people say that I don't listen to Talk Sport, but I'll tell you something. I do listen to Talk Sport because it's good. I like it's good. But some of their punters on there, honestly, it's just getting me. It's getting to me now because all they are doing is watering down Arsenal's achievement. They're bringing. They're saying. They talk about Declan Rice. Declan Rice, yeah, he's a world-class player. He's a world-class player. Was it money well spent? Real Madrid wasn't the same. It's not the same Real Madrid. Ancelotti's not sure what he's doing now. So I don't care what anyone says. Arsenal, they came to Arsenal. We battered them. Okay, we played absolutely brilliant. All right, we went to the Bernabeu. We battered them. Okay, and that's a fact. Now, the end of the day, Real Madrid has never beaten us, so I can still say it. Real Madrid has never beaten us, and that's just it. They scored against us, okay, fine, but they've never beaten us. The thing about it is that people have wanted Arsenal to be frightened of the name. The name Real Madrid, 15 Champions League. What great. I think it's fantastic. And I think the name itself is untouchable. But when it comes to those players, it's like with Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. When you watch them, they cannot play together because Vinicius Jr. Mbappe don't want to play that number 9. He doesn't want to play number 9. Mbappe wants to play where Vinicius Jr. is on the right hand side, and that's why you see them. Sometimes you see them drifting out to that right hand side. I feel right now that Arsenal has stepped up to another level.
100%.
Okay, not only have they stepped up to another level, but they've got to basically now keep that level. And I'm talking about also in the Premier League. Could you imagine? All right, even though I was one of them, and I got to be honest. All right, I was saying, why haven't they bought a striker even in the winter window? Why haven't we bought a striker? But could you imagine? A lot of people was having a go at Arteta saying, okay, fine. I mean, if they've put him up, he's put Mourinho up front. All right, but he can't continue he's doing it, because if he do it, it'll be absolutely ridiculous. It'll be stupid. He'll be a fool. He'll be this. What is he doing? But could you imagine if Arsenal bought him in the January window? Okay, purchase. Well, let's just say, all right, a price like that. Let's just say 20 odd million, and he come in and he scored those amount of goals. That would have shut a lot of people up. Do you know that?
I'll tell you what, he's done well.
That would have shut a lot of people up, because what's he got? 6 goals, 7 goals out of that for that return?
I think he's got. I think the only player that's got more than him since he actually started as a 9 is, what's his name from Man City, the Egyptian king.
Mamouche.
Yes, it.
So I mean,
guys, I hate to tell you, this Spurs are winning.
Mate, you should have to bring that in there. Don't bring that in there right now. Oh God, really? Can't stand. I think,
like you said, Marino, Pat, as well. Even last night, I think the European games suits him, because he was going to get caught in possession a little bit early in the season midfield. But last night, both assists, and 2 absolutely brilliant, brilliantly timed balls through. And I think the false 9 almost suits European football more than it does in the Prem, as you say, because we're not going against 2 low blocks, and he's just dropping back a little bit into that number 10 role, and he's getting the runs of Martinelli, Saka, and people around him, and it's just what is working in Europe. And I say, I didn't think it'd be a long-term plan, but as I say, he has done very, very well in that position.
No, I'm not saying it's a long-term plan, but
no, of course, no.
What people were saying, look, he done because he scored it when he played. What was his first?
Leicester.
No, was it Leicester? Yeah, and he scored what, 2 goals?
Yeah,
2 goals in 5 minutes.
And they said, right, you can't keep playing him up there. He's gonna look stupid if you keep playing him up. He's not doing too bad, guys. Come on,
he's an intelligent footballer, and he's not a natural striker, but intelligence gets you a long way, and that's why he was so good.
All I'm saying is Arteta's proving them wrong again.
Yeah,
and what I love, guys. I mean, like Adam, you touched on it a little bit. Is some of those people out there who are negative towards Arteta and everything else. I like listening to what they say. Even though it gets to me, it really does get to me and makes your blood boil sometimes. But what I like to do as well was when Arsenal outseed what they're doing, I like to hear what they've got to say afterwards. You know what I mean? And it's like some of them, they're so embedded. They're not going to change. Do you know what I mean? They're always going to find the excuse. It's like now Arsenal's done. I'm not going to call his name out, just in case me and him we go to head to head one time. You know what I mean? All right. But I love listening to the one specific creator, and it doesn't matter what Arsenal's gonna do or what Arsenal does. There's gonna be criticism. Do you know what I mean? They're not gonna give.
The thing is, I've always said about fans like that, in some ways they can't lose, because if Arsenal lose, they're proven right. But if Arsenal win, they're happy because Arsenal win. For me, it's a bit of a kind of get out, like, it's a bit of a told you so if it doesn't work, and if not, well, you've won a trophy and great. Like, who cares anyway? Who cares? I was wrong because I'm happy, and that's why I think it's become a growing level of fan on social media that kind of. They do like to any kind of criticism. They just like, well, I'll jump on it because that's an easier way of being. But it's like nailing your colours to the mast and kind of backing someone. You can have egg on your face. But I think, as I say, I think the players and the management have proven a lot of people wrong, and I'm so glad for them.
Yeah, so am I, mate. So am I. And it's look. What this all right, now they've won that. Let's talk a little bit about the PSG game. Who wants to kick it off? Adam, just kick that off, man.
I think the thing I said about PSG was I watched them against Liverpool over 2 legs, and I thought, oh, they're scary. And I watched them against Villa last week, and I thought, Jesus, they're a good side. I know we beat them back in October, but they've gone up a level. But then on Tuesday night, I saw where they can be beaten. Villa could have easily scored 5 goals against them. They missed some big chances, and I think, like I say, the rhetoric and the narrative has changed around this game, where it's suddenly like Arsenal look like they can beat him. I think people were saying, like, I think even commentary said last night PSG might be slight favourites. I'm not sure they are. I think, City So Liverpool and Villa are a different proposition to us. You know, I think again we can go and be dogged against a team like PSG. Villa kind of went toe to toe with them over 2 legs and almost didn't, but I just think they'll struggle to break us down. And Villa showed on the break you can get at them, and I think they're a really good side and they'll take some beating. But I do think they are susceptible to what our strengths are.
Are you happy? Sorry, go on.
I think you're also forgetting they also beat Man City as well. Like they're not that bad a team. Like they're beating.
No, I'm not saying they're not. They're a really good side, and I think to take a bigger performance than against Real Madrid. But if you watch what Villa did against them, you know they created chance after chance against them.
Oh yeah, I watched the game against.
Yeah,
I watched the second leg, and Donnarumma bailed them out.
Yeah,
I'd rather play PSG than Emery because.
Do you know something? Oh no, sorry, Charlie. I would disagree. Arsenal would have. I would have put money on Arsenal beating them on both legs.
Villa,
yeah, Villa. I would have honestly. They have got that belief now. Do you know what I mean? That they're going to go on and win it. I hope they do go on and win it. A lot of people say, "Oh, you think they're going to win?" Yes, I do believe they're going to go and win it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, but that's me. Well, this is how I go on in the live, guys. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. All right, I'm not scared to think. Oh, if I say something wrong and I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up to it. I am confident Arsenal is going to go. Whoever they play, we're going to go out and beat them. I mean, I think that only I'm glad we never played. We haven't been drawn with Inter Milan. Because that would have been a difficult one, but in the finals, yeah, I'm going for it, definitely going for it. So we got to believe in that. We got to believe that Arsenal can go on and do it. I don't care who wants to laugh at me in the chats, guys. If you think I'm wrong in the chat, or you think I'm being deluded, you think that whatever I'm smoking or whatever I'm drinking, send it your way. I will do after we win it. All right. So look, at the end of the day, I believe. I don't care who wants to laugh at me. I believe in my team. I believe my team's capable of doing it. I believe that Arteta's the right person to take us to the promised land, okay, and lift that trophy. That's up to you. If you guys, this is my opinion. It's my opinion. And if I'm wrong, guys, please put it in the chat. And if I'm right, still put it in the chat. Lloyd, what are you saying, mate?
I forgot about Lloyd, to be fair.
Yeah, see, look, you lot do this to me all the time. You forget that I'm here. Like, see what I mean? This sounds terrible.
All right, the mic's yours, mate.
Yeah, basically, Pat, like, after beating Real Madrid, yeah, I've always... Oh, what have I done here now? I've always said it.
Sorry? Lloyd?
Is he there?
Lloyd's gone. Lloyd's gone.
His big moment came and went.
I know, you know what I mean? We're just giving it to him. He's got the floor, got the mic, and Elvis has left the building.
He's sitting there posing now.
Anyway, I want to go back to the point because I remember I've been to a couple of Champions League games. I went to what's the one we won 1-0 where it was an own goal.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah, hold on, Charlie. Hold on, Lloyd. Go on, Charlie.
What was the one we won 1-0 own goal? The Ukrainian team. I can't remember the name.
Shakhtar.
That's it. And then I went to Monaco, and I remember watching because I bear it in mind when we played Shakhtar, we weren't that good. I think this was a time Odegaard was out. I think Saka was also out as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I know Odegaard was definitely out. I don't know I think Saka was out as well. But I remember watching thinking, we can't win it. And then I remember watching us against Monaco and thinking, like, and it's just changed my mind. It's like, because Monaco are a good team. And we could have easily put 6-7 past them. And I think, and that's when my mind changed. I said it from that game onwards, we can beat Monaco. And then obviously finished off the group or the table strongly. Beat PSV 7-1, 9-2 over 2 legs. Beat Real Madrid 5-1 over 2 legs. Scored 14 goals in that time. What can't we believe?
What about Lloyd? Sorry, mate, you got cut off. Then go ahead, mate.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I don't know what happened. My phone's playing tricks on me. I was about to say, like, I'm like you, Pat. You know what I mean? I've always said, like, Arsenal on their day, yeah, we can beat anybody. Yeah, when we put our minds to things, yeah, and we play football, we can beat anybody. And after beating Real Madrid last night, we can beat anybody, yeah. But, and I'm gonna say this again, but I said this, yeah, back in 2006, yeah, when we beat Real Madrid, yeah. I said, yeah, we're gonna win the Champions League. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Da, 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 da. I said we're gonna win the Champions League, and what happened in the final? We got beat by Barcelona. So I know we're not in 2006 now, but can we win the Champions League? I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take what you say, but I'm gonna still say we're gonna win it.
Yeah, I like that. But
Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna win it. We're gonna win it. And like I said, if I get egg on my face, so what? I'll still survive. And even though I'm about to sing that song, you know what I mean? I will survive.
Oh, we'll survive.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. I'm the kind of person. I don't mind looking stupid. I really don't. You know, I mean, yes, sometimes, of course, I get disappointed with my team if they don't play well. Yes, I'm a little bit upset if we don't win a trophy, but I'm standing by them 100%. I'll then at the end of the season, and that's when I'll start having a little moan. But until then, I'm just gonna stay with my team all the way up to the final whistle. And I'll tell you something right now: the fat lady
Ain't sung yet.
do you know what I mean? She ain't blown that whistle yet. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not saying we can't win it. I'm not saying we can't win it, but
Yes, you are.
I just don't know at the moment.
Okay, fine. I'll get you.
Who's got the first leg? Where is it? Emirates or
Emirates.
PSG?
Is it our ground? I thought it was at their ground first.
No, we're first.
Oh no, man! I want it their ground.
I
We've got
don't.
home
I
advantage,
think
so we've got
it's a
to make
huge advantage because I think they're more dangerous out there, and I think in the same way we had Real Madrid, I think we can almost finish the tie at home. I think we've got more chance of, going out there and beating them at first, and then trying to hold a lead over there. I think if we go over there, I think when you play away against a big team like that, it's very hard to know whether to stick or twist. Do you go out there and try and win it, or do you try and be dogged and coming back to the Emirates? I think with the Emirates first, we know we kind of have to try and beat them at home. And I think it will play into our favour, like it did for Madrid. I have to say.
Well, I hope so. I really do hope so. I really was hoping that we was. I don't know for some reason why I thought we were playing away first. But okay, right, guys, because I want to wrap it up soon. I'm going to ask you first, Adam. The whole team out of 10.
I think most of them were 8s or 9s. I think Declan wasn't far away from a 10 again. Rice, I mean, he was just absolutely everywhere. I think Saliba was the only one I dropped to a 7 just because it was such a bad error. I thought he was very good overall. But I'd say blanket 8s and 9s. 9s probably for Martinelli, Kivior, Marino, and Partey and Rice, but then 8s apart from Saliba. Yeah, no, as I say, very good performance.
Lloyd?
Yeah, I'm going to give the whole team a 9 apart from Saliba. I was going to give Saliba an 8, but I'm giving him a 7 because he made one mistake yesterday. If it wasn't for that mistake, he would have got an 8. So, yeah.
Lloyd?
Everyone else 9 apart from Saliba.
Charlie?
Rice, I'll give a 10. Money well spent. Saliba, I agree, 7. I did actually have him at a 9 because I did think he defended well.
Yeah.
But it was just that silly mistake. The rest of the team, okay, I'll give Kiwior a 10 as well because I actually think he's done well coming in, especially for Gabriel. And the rest of the team, 9, especially for Saka because the way to bounce back from let's be honest, a silly moment. So I'll give him that. And also Martinelli as well, running the full length of pitch, 90 minutes. Brilliant.
Okay, I'll tell you what, Martinelli.
What about you?
I'll give the whole team. I'm giving the whole team a 9. All right, I know we've talked about Saliba. You dropped him, but to be honest with you, I don't blame him for that. I blame the goalkeeper because the goalkeeper should have said when he rolled that ball out and he
you said this to me last night, Pat, didn't you?
Yeah.
I had this debate with my dad last night, Pat. We were split on it as well.
Yeah, I do because anything like that and your back's turned to you, you say man on. You got to say man on. Do you know what I mean? And he didn't get that. So I do blame the goalkeeper for that. But again, I'm just giving the whole team 9. Well done to the team. Guys, look, anyone, when you're watching this, do me a favor, hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to us as well, and ring that bell, guys, as well. But I'm going to finish off by asking all of you guys now, what did you guys think of Jude Bellingham?
Bellingham's a strange one for me. I've probably watched Bellingham live maybe 15 times. I'm not a huge La Liga watcher, if I'm honest. I've watched him for England. I've watched him, for Madrid in Champions League games. And at the moment, I've not seen the level of player that everyone talks about. Now, I can't argue with his stats for Madrid and the late goals he comes up with, but I've not, people are starting talking about him in the kind of Gerrard terms, and I think it's very early for that. And I think, again, last night, he showed glimpses, but I think he was completely dominated in that midfield. And at the Emirates, again, he started pretty well, but I don't know. I mean, you don't play for Madrid at his age and kind of, score the goals he does, but I haven't seen it myself yet.
Do you think Rice had him in his pocket?
Yeah, I thought he dominated him completely.
Yeah, of course.
And he got very frustrated. I mean, a couple of times him and Rice came to blows a bit. And I thought he completely dominated him.
He did. And right, would you class right now? Oh, I'm gonna finish. I'll tell you what. Two things. You guys class Wright as the complete midfielder now?
He is, and I think Roy Keane said it, or someone said it.
What Roy Keane says.
I think he's the closest thing to a Steven Gerrard or a Frank Lampard. He is. We've only got. I'm not, because I watched him at West Ham. I've watched him for England. I've watched him. Bear in mind, for England and West Ham, he played two different roles in two different systems. He played as the 6 with Souček, and he played as the 6 with Calvin Phillips, and I think Henderson was like in and out of the midfield at England at the time. And like you can see the performances.
Right.
And like
you can see do you know what I think? Sorry, God, you know what I think? I don't know if you lot would agree with me. Do you think that Bellingham plays better for England than he does for Real Madrid?
I don't really watch La Liga, to be fair, so I can't really judge.
I've not watched that much of La Liga to say.
Forget that question. I don't really watch La Liga either.
I don't think he's been great for England, Lloyd. If I'm honest, I think he had the moments. He had the overhead kick against Slovakia, but I've not seen him for England and thought, he's absolutely dominating games. Again, he's got a huge reputation. I'm not saying he's not that good, but I just haven't seen him to that level yet.
Okay, guys, quickly before we go, I want a quick answer to this. Okay, right. Arsenal with hypothetical. All right, hypothetical. Okay, so don't start laughing in the comments and whatever. Okay, and putting all your silly comments back. Well, send them to us anyway, and I'll fire something back at you guys. All right. So what I'm going to ask is this, and I want everyone to be very quick with this, please. Arsenal wins the Champions League.
Yeah.
Liverpool win the Premier League. Which one's bigger? Lloyd goes first. Quickly, Lloyd, just go.
Champions League.
Adam?
Arsenal, because we've never done it. They've done the league before. We've never done it.
Charlie?
I think you asked me this question on Saturday, and I said Champions League.
You certainly did. I also believe Champions League because, like I said,
we've never done it.
Because we've never done it.
No.
You know what I mean? This will be Liverpool's what? 6th, 5th?
No, this would be their second Prem.
Second Prem, but
second, didn't it? Second,
20th league title.
Which actually ties them up for Man United.
Yeah.
Right, guys, that's it. Thank you very much. Thanks for your company. Thanks for your opinions. Everyone in the likes, who's watching the video, please subscribe. Please do the likes. Please hit the bell. Please follow us. Tell your friends about us. We're going to be doing this once a week, every Thursdays. I'm going to try and do it twice a week, but give me some time. Okay. And guys, and thanks very much. Thanks very much, Lloyd.
Cool, bro.
Thanks very much, Adam.
Cheers, Pat.
And thanks very much, Charlie.
Cheers, son.
Okay. Now,